And now, it's time to talk telly with the best TV trio since Ant and Dec dished Bruce. It's time for Luke, Gary, and Matt with the Custard TV Podcast. Let's
go! Monday, the 18th of February, 2012. It's the Custard TV
13.
Podcast. What did I say? 12?
12.
Yeah, Luke, stop living in the past, Luke. Stop living in the past.
You're so last year.
Remember Justin Bieber? He's cool, isn't he? Right, anyway, 2013, yeah. Wow. I don't think I've... Do you know what? It's that weird thing. I don't think I've said the date yet this year out loud like that. I don't think I've actually said it. I've
You've done so many reviews of 2012, you probably got confused.
I know. I think every podcast we've done since the start of the year has been about programmes last year.
What makes me worry is how many checks have you written this year and put 2012?
You'll get one. You'll see.
Yeah, it's mine in the post.
Yeah. You're both getting one. So good. If I don't know what year it is, good job. I'm handing over to Gary. Really.
It is really. If you'd like to join any of us on the conversation on Twitter, you can do so. Luke, hit that button. Luke,
Gary, and Matt
hit
talking telly on the Custard TV Podcast.
You can get in touch with me at Luke Custard TV.
You can contact me, Gary, at The Gary Show.
And Matt is at Matt's TV Bites.
With an indiscriminate number of T's, which we can't go into for legal reasons. You can also follow us on Facebook by searching for Custard TV Podcast, and of course you can find us on iTunes. And again, you can just search Custard TV Live or Custard TV Podcast, and you can find us there.
We're so unimaginative. That's what we keep calling ourselves. That we need to come up with a better name.
Yeah. If anyone can come up with a better name, then contact us on Twitter on those various names. You can, of course, also go to the great website, thecustardtv.com, where today, only today, can you read Luke's interview with the star of My Mad Fat Diary. What was her name?
Sharon
Rooney. And the good news is that announced today is the fact that show has been recommissioned by E4 for second series. I'm assuming that you two, as you watch it, are very happy about that.
Very happy about it.
Yeah, definitely.
And what I like about it is they're going to hit 1997, presumably. And I made a joke with Sharon in the interview, saying, "These series are such a great soundtrack. Don't let them put Elton John's "Candle in the Wind" on the soundtrack in '97." And then she said she doesn't think her fictional mum would take the Diana news well. Yeah. So they've got so many things they can get through.
Yeah. In 97, yeah, I suppose. It's a bit weird, though, still having, certainly my sort of teenage years being sort of nostalgic now, like 96, 97.
Well, I was speaking to her.
I was in my mid-20s.
You'll see in the interview when I mentioned about the 90s nostalgia, she was 7.
Yeah,
7.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
It's not allowed. Can I just say, I'm going to just do this quickly. I'm not going to say this ever again. But I have an aim for this podcast, and this is the first and last time I'll say it. I want my 700th Twitter follower by the end of this podcast. Somebody listening, please follow me at Luke Custard TV.
What number are you on now?
699.
Oh, well, it's achievable.
700. It is achievable, but
and we'll read out that person's name, and you can all go and follow them. Will you follow them if they're your 700th follower?
I will. That's the promise I will make.
There you are. That's written in almost blood.
The sand.
The sand with blood.
The stars.
We're moving on to a news section because that's what it says on my running order. And the first thing that I want to talk about is the 10-year anniversary of BBC Three. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the third channel of the British Broadcasting Corporation is celebrating its 10th birthday. It's almost old enough to drink and buy cigarettes, but not quite. And two different organisations ran polls about the best show, and we think they're both wrong. The Radio Times ran a poll and came up with Doctor Who Confidential, which means obviously the Whoites got involved. Doctor Who Confidential is one of is like the spin-off, isn't it? It kind of goes behind the scenes. It doesn't even feature anymore, does it? They don't do it anymore.
Cancelled recently.
Yeah. And the other place that did a review was Digital Spy, and they came up with Russell Howard's Good News, which, despite being good, is not the best show that BBC Three has ever made. So we're going to tell you what it is. Luke, what's the best show that BBC Three ever made was?
A lot of people mock BBC Three, but they forget what's come from it. For me, it's a toss-up. No, you don't, Matt. No. You don't get out of my head and into my car.
Thank you, Mr. Ocean.
I reckon Gavin and Stacey is probably BBC Three's best show, closely followed by Matt's prediction, Him and Her. But they do a lot of...
Whoa!
I didn't think you'd say either of those, but there you go.
What did you think I was going to say?
Bodies.
Oh, crikey. Matthew, bodies. Quite. See, that's so good, I don't even realise it's BBC Two. That's the problem, no, bodies...
Okay,
oh,
now, Matt,
can I just go home? I don't know the day, I don't know the year.
Yes, probably can go. Sorry, no, you're in an expensive local studio.
No, can I just say Bodies? If you haven't seen Bodies, watch it, buy the DVD. BBC Three drama is not a phrase we use a lot on this podcast.
There's not a lot of it.
There's just fantastic, and yes, compared to everything else on the channel, it was miles above, and it did get a BBC Two repeat, so in your face, people.
In your face. Matt, what's your top program?
I would say I've got two. I'd say Pulling was one of mine.
Oh,
Sharon.
Why didn't I say Pulling?
Sharon Horgan and Dennis Kelly sitcom, and the other one, which was cancelled, I think, too soon, was The Fades, their sort of horror sci-fi show, which I quite enjoyed, and also had Claire Rushbrook from My Big Fat Diary, and
can I just congratulate you, Matt? Can I just congratulate you, because you mentioned Dennis Kelly there. It's the first time you've not mentioned Utopia, so well done. Give Matt a quick round of applause for that.
I mean, however many minutes we're into this podcast, and one of us has used the word charming, so I think that's some sort of record.
Oh, you've just wrecked
Gary.
God damn. My personal favourite, Liquid News, was always a big favourite of mine.
Which started on BBC Choice when it was still BBC Three.
In fact, actually I think it was on the BBC News channel before that. And then yes, that was a popular. There's no entertainment shows on. I don't think you can call the Culture Show an entertainment show. There's nothing like Liquid News on now. And the other one, as a comedy fan, a big fan of the Mighty Boosh, and I know that again is kind of felt as a BBC Two show by some people, but actually it's on BBC Three. So I really liked that. So there you are, Digital Spy and Radio Times. You don't know what you're talking about.
Do you feel, Gary, as the oldest member of the podcast now?
Thank you. Yes.
I mean, you're probably sitting there in your slippers now, probably.
I am. Actually.
Do you feel that you are no longer the BBC demographic?
Certainly no longer the BBC Three demographic. I'm more the BBC Two or even BBC Four demographic.
You're BBC Four, Gary, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm strictly
so
BBC Four.
You're sat there with your Guardian newspaper.
Yeah, independent.
Morgan. Oh, sorry.
Independent. That's interesting. Maybe one week we should do a kind of, which TV channel do you think most, describes you? That would be a good social media question one week. Someone remind me.
There's not a fat and lazy channel, is there?
You'd be Dave Jarvu.
I was going to say, you'd be Dave Jarvu, Luke. Or Dave Jarvu all over. So, and I suppose in anniversaries, it's the 20th anniversary of Red Dwarf, and Dave celebrated
who's going to be 4/7?
and Dave celebrated by showing back-to-back episodes of Red Dwarf like they do every weekend. Moving on in the news, a new programme coming to ITV on Wednesday the 27th of February called Food Glorious Food. Now, Luke, you've seen a preview of this, and it's basically the Simon Cowell X Factor for cooking show, from what I understand.
No, it's not. It's not. It's the Great British Bake Off with Carol Vorderman and annoying public people.
And Lloyd Grossman.
Who is incredibly annoying. You think his voice couldn't get more annoying? Try spending 45 minutes in its company with Carol Vorderman and try not and break your telly. I mean, it's just...
So you're not
worst.
recommending this, then?
No,
so it's basically the Bake Off with all the charm taken out and lots of cynicism.
Oh, well done, Matt. Charm.
A charmectomy.
But it is exactly that. I mean, as you know, I'm not as into the Bake Off as Matt is, and I know Gary's watched it and says he'll watch the next series. But I know what the Bake Off is. I know how the Bake Off works, and I know why the Bake Off's why it's popular. But this is just... I mean, the good thing about this is the winners do win a prize. They get their homegrown recipe on the shelves at M&S. But I mean,
they did that on. Do you remember Channel 5 did I'm
running Sainsbury's?
Breaking into Tesco. Channel 5 with Simon Rimmer off Sunday Brunch.
Well, I misunderstood what that was. I thought it was showing you how to break in.
They did do I'm running Sainsbury's. They did do that, but that was about Sainsbury's staff trying to sort of. This was basically getting, their homemade produce into Tesco, breaking into Tesco, which sounds like...
nobody has done how to get out of Aldi, then?
No. Yeah, but it's just, I just don't know why it's there.
The only thing I would say is this is going to be on at prime time. I mean, the Bake Off, it's not prime.
8 o'clock.
8. Well, that's pretty much prime time on ITV.
The Bake Off was on 8, wasn't it?
Yeah, but on BBC Two, I'm saying this is the first kind of cooking talent show that's been on prime time main channel.
MasterChef.
Yeah, maybe okay. But again, that was more 6:30.
Your points.
Well, no, but he's making good points, and I'll get him later. So, Luke, as the only person who's seen this, I'm guessing this does not get you your seal of approval.
No. The only good thing is it means Lightfields is going to be on after it. That's the only.
Oh, well, there you are. Hopefully, it won't completely ruin the audience for that. BBC fans have been petitioning the Hour. No, the other way round. The Hour fans have been petitioning the BBC.
This is the worst one we've ever done. Quite possibly the worst one we've ever done.
That one where you breathed heavy. That
might be this one.
Narrow it down.
Can I just stop the presses?
What?
I've just hang on. I'll just double check before I announce this on the air. Okay, carry on. Things are going to happen in a minute. Carry on as you were.
I was very tempted to unfollow then refollow in a minute.
Sure, stop.
The Hour
carry on as you were.
I was thinking about
carry on as you were.
Petitions very rarely work. I can't think of too many shows in this country which have been petitioned brought back. Matt, as an Hour fan, do you think they'll bring it back if enough people say something, or not?
I mean, they did like 6 Music, didn't they? That's the only sort of comparison. They did the Save 6 Music thing, but that wasn't sort of ever cancelled.
Celebrity heavy though, wasn't it? There was a lot of people that wanted 6 Music.
I don't think it's going to be, unless like several million people sign this petition, then it's not going to make an impact to the BBC. And obviously, at the end of the day, they've got to put their budget somewhere, and they just don't think the hours are. What they could do, I suppose, is do like a special or two, like a special, episode to wrap everything up, rather than a whole new series.
It's like an hour, the final. Yeah, that could be interesting.
Because apparently, I mean, I didn't see the last one, but they allegedly left a lot of things hanging.
It was left in the sense that you think they were actually gonna do something with it.
Yeah.
A couple of television shows.
Let's be honest, 7 million people didn't even watch the series anyway, did they? So they'd be unlikely to get 7 million.
Yeah. Well, I said several million, not 7 million.
Well, you should enunciate.
Not on this podcast, please. Also, renewed television show is My Mad Fat Diary. Other renewals or things that are going on in sort of commissioning is BBC Two have commissioned 2 sequels to the popular David Hare programme Page 8. Now, this starred...
Is this page 9 and 10?
I assume it's page 9 and 10. This is Bill Nighy as a spy. This was very, very good. This was one of those shows that if you haven't seen it, you need to. Stylish and very well written, slow and methodical, but not boring.
But the dialogue just ruined it for me. I thought the dialogue was
dialogue was clunky, but
it was clunky. Yeah, I agree.
It was clunky, but it was nowhere near as bad as say "Because I Just Sold a Spy" that was on at the cinema at the same time, which I saw that was terrible. I think it was a good spy thriller. And I'm looking forward to seeing. Maybe he can learn from those mistakes. If you Twitter him, maybe he'll pick up on the dialogue. The US remake of The Bridge is going to be shown on FX. Now I'm assuming that's FX in America.
That's FX in America, yes. And
so we've got no idea who it's going to show in the UK.
No, it's going to star as well Diane Kruger, who was in Inglourious, and
you're right, Matt.
Yeah, fine. And
your vote there.
Yeah.
Inglourious Bastards.
Yes.
Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah. Yippee-ki-yay, Mother Hubbard. that's my favourite. Sorry to diversify here, but that's on ITV they used to change swear words in television programmes. that is my absolute favourite. They showed Die Hard at 6 o'clock on a Saturday evening, and he said, "Yippee-ki-yay, Mother Hubbard."
I love that.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Diane Kruger.
But then again, I'm
Freud.
easily pleased.
Yes, true.
And Demian Bashir, who was in a film called A Better Life, where I think he was Oscar nominated, and they're basically, yeah, exactly. Demian Bashir.
Not exactly big names, but then again, FX is a channel that does go for younger talent.
And
so
you have to look at the picture that they've done. There's a promo picture of it. They do look a lot like the original actors from the Scandinavian version. So, and it's going to be set between America and Mexico. This one. So,
can you stick a picture of that up on the Facebook group?
I could do.
So that the world can see the likeness, and then maybe you can put up a comparison photo. So that the world can see how likely...
Basically, he's saying, can you do it, Matt? Because no one else is going to do it. And while you do that, I'd like... Gary, what have you got around you that you could do a drum roll on? Aside from your belly. What was that?
Drum roll. I'm just on the
okay. I now have my
like a breaking news.
My 700th follower
is
at Maddie Finn. That's at Maddie Finn. M-A-D-D-I-E Finn F-I-N-N. At Maddie Finn is my 700th follower. I have followed her back.
That's Madison Finn, and that's a bot, I believe. She hasn't actually even tweeted.
Well, let me see. Yes, she has. She has. It's Maddie_Finn. She's tweeted.
If you go to Maddie Finn, that's a bot. So
right,
Maddie_Finn.
You know this is thrilling radio, guys.
It is.
No, well, it's not even radio. It's a podcast.
Okay.
Let's have a look. Madison Finn, at Maddie Finn. What a great name, Madison.
Yeah.
Let's learn a little bit about her.
Oh, let's not stalk the poor person. Anyway, so thank you for being my 700th follower.
Well done. I'm just going to.
Thank you for being a friend.
If you're looking at Twitter, she's got pictures of 3 fingers on her profile page. One of which is wearing a tie. In fact, maybe that's her representation of us, the podcast.
What's that?
It's likely to be the case. Right, back to the television stuff, because that's what we're here for. Sony Entertainment Television, that's a channel that you get if you've got Sky in this country.
I call it Series
3. Indeed. Series 3 of Community, which is finished in America now. They're on Series 4. Which has just started, so if you're a big fan of that, and I believe they're re-showing the first 2 series of Community, so if you want to catch up, now is a good time to do so. Netflix has announced that they're also going to be picking up another show. They're going to show Series 4 of Drop Dead Diva. I can't say that I've ever watched this. Matt, I'm sure you watched the first one.
I did. This is about a model who, I think she was a supermodel or a TV presenter or something.
And now she's
who dies, but sort of doesn't fully die. I can't remember exactly how, and ends up in the body of a fat lawyer who and then she has to learn about body image and all that malarkey.
So it's a bit like that film with Jack Black in it that no one saw.
Shallow Hal.
Shallow Hal, well done. See, I knew I could rely upon you for the names. BBC One are going to adapt War and Peace, but don't get started on it yet. They've got to read it, and clearly that means the pro won't start till 2015 because it takes a long time to read War and Peace.
Okay. The remake, US Bridge remake photo is now up on the Facebook group as well.
Excellent.
Oh, Matt, look at him working while he's talking.
Head your eyes over there. Right, and lastly, BBC 4 have revealed that they're going to show Borgen Series 3 in the winter. So they're going to bring it forward, I think, although didn't know, because this year was the winter when they showed it.
No, they're going to show it next year.
No, this year, apparently, according to what I read.
Well, I read next year, so I don't know. But it'll be on the telly.
It'll be on the telly.
It'll be on the telly. But I think the good thing is that I feel it's great that they felt they needed to announce that they won it. Like anyone else is going to show that kind of show. Who else would show it?
It was going to be on. Well, there was a lot of talk about it ending up on E. But it didn't in the end.
There's more likelihood of you ending up on E than
Dave Jarvu.
What, the ecstasy or the channel?
Just the channel. Really, +1, I think, would have been a great place for it. There you go. Let's move on to the ever-popular review section. It's going to be a little shortened this week because none of us could be bothered to watch much television. There wasn't a lot on. We said that on the last podcast.
Not much new, so...
You've only got yourself to blame. First up, it was the Channel 4 drama Complicit that aired last night. Now, everything I've read on Twitter today says this was slow, boring, and therefore didn't do very well in the ratings. I think only got half what Channel 4 normally gets on a Sunday night in that slot. Luke is the only one amongst us that has yet watched it. I have it on my DVR.
No, Matt went to it.
Oh, sorry. Premiere.
Of course, it's the first one. Matt watched it.
It's the first and only one, to be fair.
Indeed. Let our listening audience know what you think of it. Matt first.
Right, yeah. As I say, I went to the premiere, so I might have a sort of different view from Luke, because obviously I heard from like the writer and the director and sort of their views on it. But what I thought was a very well. It started very slowly, but I think it built up nicely to where I should say David Oyelowo's character is this is he MI5 or MI6? One of them.
He's MFI.
Yeah, MFI agent.
FI, brilliant.
Trying to put together a bookcase against a suspected terrorist played by Arshar Ali from Four Lions and Beaver Falls. And basically,
you missed out 4 lines in a funeral.
And basically, he tries to build up enough evidence to convince his bosses that this guy is committing terrorist acts. And basically, it follows him to Egypt, where the authorities detain him. And the basic question is whether you should torture one person if it's going to save the lives of a lot of different people. And I thought it was very clever done.
Guantanamo Bay situation.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it was about the David Oyelowo character was like this frustrated agent who didn't think he was being listened to by anyone, and he thought that maybe the torturing would be the only way of sort of people believing him. And it was just really well done, and the characters, I thought the 2 main characters were really well drawn, and I liked the ambiguous ending. I like most things about it. It was a bit slow at times, but I thought pace sort of picked up towards the end.
But going to the screening, you had a slight advantage because
you said it was... that.
Well, hang on, Matt. We don't want to fall out. You know you're on thin ice with me as it is. Hang on. Right, so you had a slight advantage going to the screening because you said it was slow. I feel like
the UN here, you know, like you're sending in the Peace Corps.
You can shed it as well.
Here we go.
And with going to the screening, even the times it was slow, at least you didn't have an ad break to distract you and think, actually, Father Ted's on more for, and it's more exciting than Complicit.
Yeah, I admire your persistence in staying with it, Luke.
No, because I have to be completely honest here. One of my bugbears is when people say TV's too slow. If it doesn't grab me straight away, I don't like it. That annoys me when people say that. But I did find Complicit extremely, just really, really, really slow. And just a bit too filmic for me.
I can imagine with the adverts that it was...
But did you not think then about recording it and watching it without the adverts a bit later?
I did do. Well, the problem is I watched Ripper Street at 9 and recorded this on Channel 4 plus 1. And so I was recording it at 10 and I went through it. But I think it's just too brooding. Again, a lot of the music annoyed me in it.
There wasn't a lot of music in it, though. There wasn't a lot. It was a lot of silences. There was a lot, and what I liked about it was almost that it tried to go against like the spy dramas, like Spooks, for example, and have these
it wasn't
spies...
on Spooks level with music.
No. But it like as Spooks makes like this spying life look really, really glamorous and stuff. Complicit was like, this is a room full of like grey filing cabinets and everything is it's all greys and whites and it was very grainy and I really liked it. I thought Monica Dolan as well as sort of the M character, she was very good.
She is fantastic. She is fantastic. I just wished it had a bit more about it. There's no doubting in my little tiny TV obsessed mind that David Oyelowo is a fantastic actor, and he brought a lot of gravitas to it.
And a lovely man.
And he's a lovely man. We've said it before, we'll say it again. He's a lovely man. If you ever lose a dog, he will go, I'm just saying this, he will help you find it. Or buy you another one if you lose it completely.
Did you not like the scene between them when he sort of confronts him? You know, they had that like 5-minute scene where it was just the two of them. I thought it was.
I always enjoy like dialogue between two people like that. That was really sparking. But I just wish it had more about it.
More of that sort of thing.
More of that. Not that I thought everything had to be shouting and screaming and intense conversation. But I just think you've got a lot of time.
There was too many silences for you, maybe.
Yeah,
too many
exactly.
silences.
Too many silences.
But what I liked as well was it was a drama about torture, but you didn't actually see the torture on screen, and I thought that was good. That it was sort of
Well, I misread it because I thought it was a drama about tortoises, so I was sat there waiting for a tortoise the whole time that didn't turn up, and I thought that's why it's slow because they're giving time for the tortoise to turn up.
What they did say at the screening was that one of the, I think it was either the producer or the director said, I abhor screen violence, and this was the night after the first Utopia was screened with the, the eyeball scene. I don't know, Gary, have you been watching Utopia? Have you
Gary's not here, Matt. Gary's not here. I don't know quite where he is, but he's not with us. So I'm just going to add him back to the call. But yes, but Gary's gone.
I don't know what happened.
Oh, hello.
Hello, I'm here.
Have you started watching Utopia yet, Gary? I was just asking you a question.
No,
you disappeared.
I disappeared. I was trying to message you both and say, I'm gone. I haven't watched Utopia. I'm waiting till the series finishes so that I can try and watch them back to back.
So you can watch it on DVD next year.
That's right.
That's what you're doing.
Did we all watch a bit of Let's Dance for comic relief?
I watched the second half of it.
Not the first.
No, I didn't watch it, but not because. Go on, sorry. Somebody go on.
No, Luke. Why
I came in sort of halfway through, and started with the Tim Vine, which was by far the best one.
Well, that's right. Yeah. I think the problem with Let's Dance for comic relief is it's had over the years a couple of quite memorable. For me, the Cheryl Cole imitation by Rufus Hound is classic.
Robert Webb doing Flashdance was mine.
Yeah,
I know that one on the first year. And Ade Edmondson doing Swan Lake was another one that sticks in my mind. Or Noel Fielding doing Kate Bush, but there you go.
Yes.
So you've watched it. But the thing is, you're absolutely right, Matt, and there were some standout funny bits. But I always think with something like Let's Dance for comic relief, you don't really need to watch it. You can watch the best bits on YouTube.
Yeah,
I mean, the show is. I stopped watching after the dance scene because it just drags. I mean, you've got all this time for the voting, and they had like. I mean,
you had voting. Yeah, what was the thing with the
One Direction going to Africa? Did you see that?
In any comic relief, but even the actual show, you're going to get the sob stories, which is fair enough, and that's why it's on. You expect that.
But they only sent a couple of One Direction members to Africa. They weren't all there. That's what I liked.
The rest of them are dating pop stars. You know, they go on rotation.
I like the idea that even One Direction, even Africa went, God, we're sick of One Direction. We'll have a couple of them, but we're not having all of them. Well, they're just everywhere.
That's all I can manage. Just the three. As much as I like the format, I agree with you. There's quite a lot of moments in there that are cringeworthy. And anytime Steve Jones has the microphone and not a script,
and he does that, booming voice thing, doesn't he?
Yeah. I'm Steve Jones. I'm Welsh. I'm quite good looking.
But I liked Tim Vine's Justin Timberlake. I thought that was in the sort of spirit of the whole thing, and Ricky Hatton as well. You've got to love Ricky Hatton dressing up as Robbie.
I mean, I think the good thing is you do. It's the ones that you don't get that actually do. And I thought even the others. I mean, the Olivia Lee gave it a go. I didn't think she was.
I mean, I think this what were they called, the superstars? Gaffney and like that. I could do without them sort of getting through.
There's always a couple of them on every scene.
Yeah, and I mean the comedians doing Destiny's Child, basically just men in drag. They didn't do a lot of dancing, did they?
But I did do a lot of dragging.
Yeah.
Overall,
as did the show.
It's all for a good cause. You can't really have a go at Let's Dance for comic relief, but it is a slightly tired format. Maybe.
Do you know what I'll be interested in? Is next Saturday. I'm really looking forward to the return of Ant and Dec Saturday Night Takeaway, which they have trailed like mad. And I just wonder how well that will do up against Let's Dance for comic relief. I think it might knock it.
Are they on at the same time?
They're on Saturday. I'm fairly sure they are. I'll double check it.
Let's Dance sort of getting rid of all the dancing first, and then like Ant and Dec are up against the bit where they do the voting.
Yeah.
For performance and stuff.
The thing that always gets me in Let's Dance currently as well is why do they bother having judges? I don't know why.
No, they do that end thing, don't they? They do the judges get to take one, send another act through to the final sort of thing.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yes, they're on at exactly the same time. I've just confirmed. 7 o'clock for Let's Dance and 7 o'clock for Ant and Dec on Saturday.
Well, that'll be interesting to find out. So not only next week will we tell you who was right about Complicit, Luke or Matt, after I've seen the show, but we'll tell you whether we watched Let's Dance for Current Relief or Saturday Night Takeaway.
I can tell you now which I'm going to watch. Save us coming back.
The surprise for next week. I watched the second episode of Nashville. I'm going to carry on watching it. It's still good. Matt was totally right. It doesn't appear like the two stars are actually going to go on tour together, so well done, Matt, for reading ahead. I still like the show, and the political stuff in it was still good. Matt saw the last episode of The Hotel, which Luke has yet to see, so please don't spoil it.
Matthew, don't spoil it. We're already falling out.
We're falling out. I don't want to fall out.
Good, I don't want to fall out.
The Hotel, yes, it was the last episode of The Hotel, hopefully not ever. This saw Mark, the proprietor of the hotel, as we saw last week. He had to sell it. In this one, he did sell it. It was all about him trying to put a new manager in place. Alison, the reservations manager, who I don't know. Luke, are you a fan of Alison?
Love Alison.
Yeah. He basically put Alison in charge. Obviously, certain things went wrong, as she left the bar staff in charge of Mark's precious bingo night. But there were just lots of nice little moments. I mean, they always have the guests in, don't they, who have the backstories. Some sort of horrible thing has happened to them, and they're sort of trying to get away. Like there was a man who'd had 2 heart attacks.
The thing I can't believe is that they sold it to Keith Chegwin. I think that was unusual.
Stop it now.
They did sell it to a guy called... Ironically, though, they did sell it to a guy called Keith, so you're not...
I'm 50% right in my hilarious moment.
Yeah, there is a rumour that they will bring it back with the new owner, who's trying to get Mark to sort of come back to do like the hosting of the events and things like that. Because he's obviously, in the episode, he does mention that the only person he could see hosting a lot of the events is himself and making money out of it. So... Can we talk about people like us as well?
I just want to say something very briefly about The Hotel, if I may, Matt. It's not all about you on this podcast tonight. You're really grinding my gears.
Am I going to have to separate?
I've never used that phrase, but I used it correctly there. I'm so chuffed. What I wanted to say just briefly about The Hotel, I love it. It's one of my favourite things, as you know, Matt. But the thing is, I've been watching TV for a living now without making money from it. For about 10, 12 years, and I have learned, as much as I love things, when things end, just leave them there, and let's just have a wonderful memory of how brilliant
so you don't think it should
was.
come back? You don't think it should come back?
Not in the guise of The Hotel. But I'd be happy to see Mark on I'm a Celebrity get me out.
They downgrade it, no?
They did a nice little thing, actually, at the end. The voiceover lady said, like, we wish Mark well with whatever he decides to do next.
His future endeavours.
Yeah, they did actually.
Hugh Bonneville did the voiceover.
Yeah, no, but like the continuity announcer.
Oh, the continuity announcer. What's she sticking her all in for? She's only there to tell us what's on.
And
next.
Now complicit.
And you know what's and
now a torture drama.
You know what her name is? Her name is Madison Finn. No.
No,
it's not.
Anyway, I'm over that. I've got 701 followers now.
Well, fair enough.
Oh God, you've changed.
On. Oh, yeah. What happened to the person that only had 400 followers that we used to like? Matt, tell us about people like us. Oh yeah, Matt, people like us.
People like us. Yeah, I know I mentioned it. Like Luke, have you seen the second episode of this?
I have, and I can see why you enjoy it. Do you know? I said to someone on Twitter the other day. Do you remember Paddington Green, or was it you that said this?
We said. I believe this was on last week's podcast. In fact, you said this.
Do you know what? We're so good. I didn't even realise it's us.
We don't even remember what we said last 5 minutes, let alone a week ago.
No, but it is. I mean, I don't like everyone involved, but it's a well put together show, and for an hour, it moves by quite quickly, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Wakefield family. I hope they're in every episode. I haven't seen the third one yet, but I've been told.
It.
Sorry?
Get on it, Matt. What are you waiting for?
Get on it. I will get on it like a carb on it.
Get on it and get on it large.
Oh, I feel sick.
But yeah, it's just a really well produced docu-soap about an area in Manchester. It's nice to just see one of these sort of coming from, as I say, the north, being the northern correspondent of the podcast here. And I mean, as I say, the Wakefields who run the Wishy Washy Dye Cleaners, they're just amazing. Yeah, right. I mean, I've been talking to Karen a little bit on Twitter.
Oh, look at you changing with your people.
Oh, sorry.
Like us. People like us that used to be people like me and Gary. Now it's people like us.
Don't drag me into this.
But if they make it an American version, will it be people like us US? Or
yeah,
anyway.
it'll just be people like US. It'll just be like that.
But yeah, no, I mean, I love how they mix the humour and I love the club promoter, the sort of Del Boy guy.
Just to let you know, don't ask Gary any questions. He's got to go.
Well, he hasn't seen it, so it's fine.
I don't think he should be allowed to go just because he hasn't seen things.
I love the Del Boy character. Was it Dale, yes, who was organising that club night and ended up buying shots for everyone and making £6 at the end of it?
I just think,
and he did that thing about his nan going to bingo.
It's a very tricky thing, though, to fill a whole hour with a subject like that, but it whizzes by.
Mm-hmm. And I love the stuff about everyone sitting down to watch Jeremy Kyle as well. That was funny. That idea. And the stepdad just going, she's a other, you know. Yeah, it's just really
well
good.
Done that for curbing your.
I mean, now that the hotel's gone, it's nice to have another sort of fly on the wall show like that. I just hope, as I say, the Wakefields are in every episode because you need that sort of continuity, don't you, of characters being, like regular characters being in it every week.
What do you think? Do you think this has potential to carry on to series 2?
We'll have to see after that.
If you've got anything to do with it,
yeah. I'm going to petition the BBC when they finish with the hour petition.
It was the same show. I don't think you should bother. But I mean, if you're going to get the hour.
Well, again, if they've got the characters and they've got the the money to do it, then definitely, because I'm really enjoying it. It's not. I mean, BBC Three. I know we talked about them at the top of the show.
We did, Matt. Well done for listening.
They at the moment, at least, have done really well with sort of documentaries and like the docu-soaps. I mean, they did one Growing Up Poor earlier in the year, which I really enjoyed.
I found that
Our War last year.
Oh, incredible!
Yeah, and they've been set. I mean, I do watch quite a lot of them to review them, and
actually they've got a new drama coming called The Crash.
Yeah, which
is really good, and it gets a good message across. Actually,
and I saw a preview as well as I know it's not a documentary, but is it In the Flesh? Their new sort of zombie
looks interesting
soldier drama, which looks interesting. Is Gary back yet?
No, he's not. Let's keep talking. The thing is, though, I was just going to say, BBC Three do a lot of great one-off documentaries, like you say, that Growing Up Poor, that I don't think get enough recognition. So, but I just think they're really
The Bad Boy Olympian, that's another one that springs to mind with Ashley Mackenzie, who then went into Big Brother.
There's one I remember, Stuart. There's one I remember vividly that I just thought was just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Called Stuart: The Day My Life Changed.
Oh yeah, no, was it A Life Backwards?
Stuart: The Day My Life Changed was a different thing, but there was one called Alex: A Life Backwards.
Oh, Alex: A Life Backwards, yeah. I remember that one with the
are
guy
both
body shutting down.
Brilliant stuff. Yeah. But yeah, so BBC Three, we mock it, we make it better.
We do mock you, but I mean their documentaries are definitely sort of one of their strongest suits at the moment. But obviously, they with the comedy and the there's a lot of new drama coming from BBC Three. It looks like over the next few weeks.
And speaking of one-off documentaries, I'm not going to lie, I'm incredibly excited about the Chicken Shop on Channel 4 tomorrow night.
Yeah. I haven't been able to see a preview copy of that, but should we start doing the previews? I don't know.
Yes, go ahead. I had to close the document. So
talking of documentaries, I know we previewed it last week, but we're sort of a bit, a day behind when we're normally on. So
I don't remember why we are, but we're here now.
Her Majesty's Prison Aylesbury, which is a prison documentary from ITV and starts tonight. I've now seen this, and I would say
I haven't seen it all, but I think it's on par with their other.
But what I would say, it's a lot more sort of violent now. I mean, their other ones have tended to have a little bit more of a human aspect, a bit more humour in there. This one I found almost a little bit focused on the violence, and there's a whole focus on like a hostage situation in the prison. What I really like about these documentaries, though, is that there's hardly any voiceover in any of it.
Yes, I agree with you completely.
Yeah. Moving on.
I just want to say just quickly about that. I just think it's not something you'd normally place at 9 p.m. on ITV. That sort of level of drama and just general.
It's a two-parter, isn't it? It's
yeah, but I think it's really well done. And I spent the first 5 minutes looking for Trevor McDonald. He's not there. Get over with it.
No, I know it's nice not having a.
It's nice not having a guide saying this is a dangerous place, these people are criminals, and blah blah blah.
Gary's trying to get back in touch, by the way, but I know I'll disappear if I talk to him. I will disappear.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm trying to get him.
Okay, moving on to ITV2 tomorrow night. 2 US shows. The first new one that has already been cancelled in America, 666 Park Avenue, which stars.
Which you can watch on ITV Player now before it airs if you fancy it.
Which stars Terry O'Quinn, who was John Locke in Lost, and Vanessa Williams, who was in Betty, I think the actress's name. Basically, play this sort of devilish couple in this sort of upmarket block of flats, which has obviously got sort of connotations to hell. And following on from that is, or before that, I should say, preceding that is the new series of The Vampire Diaries, the sort of teen TV show, which is sort of a take on like the Twilight stories, I suppose. I've never seen it.
That's what I'm quite looking forward to in the flesh, because I think BBC Three will do a whole different
there's a lot of American shows on here, and I know me and you don't really watch a lot of American shows.
I know who's written them down. Actually, I can have a guess.
There isn't a lot of like new UK shows starting in the next week. I mean, it's all sort of stuff finishing tonight.
I just want to ask you this before. Oh yeah, My Mad Pot Diary finishes tonight.
And
Black Mirror continues.
Tomorrow. Black Mirror continues tonight. But yeah, all the channel, all Channel 4 stuff is sort of coming to an end. But it's just.
I'll just ask you quickly.
Yeah.
Just very quickly, while we got a couple of minutes. May Day is coming up. That's the next. Actually, believe it or not, it's the first new BBC drama of 2013 where I haven't had any new BBC drama, like a new story. They've all been returning series. Ripper Street.
You mean BBC One?
Yeah, BBC One. Yeah. So they're going to strip May Day over 5 days in a couple of weeks. What do you think about scheduling ideas like that, sticking something over 5 days?
Well, I don't mind it. It depends on the quality of the piece, I suppose. And it's the story sort of one that you need that the next night sort of thing. I mean, like, I suppose there was 5 days, wasn't there, in Criminal Justice that did that?
And Collision on ITV. So it's not a thing that's not done, but I just think, how do you feel about knowing for a fact that if you don't like the first episode of Mayday, you're probably not watching BBC One for the rest of the week?
Well, you can watch something. I don't think it's much of an issue as it was, it would have been several years ago, because there's so much, more options now what you can watch if you don't want to watch the thing on BBC One.
We'll talk about that. It's coming up in a few weeks. You can go back to the script now.
I'll go back to the script. I'll just run through these because I honestly not sure about any of these. White Collar on Alibi tomorrow. I think that's a legal drama or something. I'm not sure. Chicago Fire we've talked about before.
I can guess what that's about.
And I think we talked about it. I think in our last review of the year podcast. So go back and listen to that.
Our first review of the year.
Yeah, with Jesse Spencer, who was in House and before that in Neighbours. Whitney, which is a US comedy, is
we've only got 1 minute. We've only got 1 minute.
Comedy Central. Okay, that's Wednesday at 9. Thursday at 9 on Channel 5 is a new Irish drama, Jack Taylor, starring is it Ian Glenn, the guy who was in
Ian Glenn of Prisoners' Wives and Game of Thrones and all that. Yeah.
Ripper Street and Downton Abbey, he was in as well. Basically playing a former member of the Irish Guard who is who now
I
works
love to
as
hear Matt
Mike.
talk, but I'm going to have to cut him off. I'm sorry, I just...
The Mentalist, Friday, 9 o'clock on Channel 5, and Dexter, Series 7, Fox, Sunday, 9 o'clock. Okay, done. Go.
There you go. Custard TV Podcast, thanks ever so much. You can get in touch with us.
Hello.
Gary's back!
Hi, Gary.
I've only got 30 seconds left.
What? Oh,
Okay, you can get in touch with me at the week at Luke Custard TV. Or you can get in touch with Gary at...
A better Skype connection.
Or Matt at...
At Matt's TV Bites. Gary's at the Gary Show. There you go.
We'll be back next Tuesday at our usual-ish time for the Custard TV Podcast. Take care, all the best. Bye-bye.
Luke,
Bye.
Gary and Matt talking telly on the Custard TV Podcast.